Hey guys, Dan Pickar here with Eastmans Bow Hunting Journal and Beyond the Grid TV. Today we're going to take a look at the Trophy Ridge Digital React single pin slider sight. Now I'm able to test this Bear Refine EKO. With this bow, they do offer a package with all these Trophy Ridge accessories, which includes a stabilizer, their drop away full containment rest, and a bow sight. So kind of an all-in-one setup, especially for those guys that don't like to deal with all the accessories or getting into the tech of everything. You can kind of buy a complete ready to go setup. So that's definitely handy if that's what you're looking for. So this digital React bow sight, basically you have a digital readout right here where your sight tape would be on the inside of your bow. Yes, it's battery powered. You might be like, well, why do I need another battery powered device in my hunting kit? And I see pros and cons to it. Obviously the battery can die. I've let this bow sight set outside for about an hour and a half now. It's about 35 degrees. It's supposed to be a high of 40 today and it's about noon, so it's probably getting close to 40, but I haven't dropped a bar yet. Obviously you're probably not going to want to turn it on until maybe you're ready to shoot or you're seeing animals. But as a backup, you do have a place right here for the old standby paper sight tape. So you do have a backup just in case your battery were to die. An application I can see is somebody that would really enjoy this sight, or for those guys that are getting a little older, and I've heard it in the past, they say, Dan, I can't see my sight tape. I got to pull out my reading glasses and to be able to see my sight tape readout. And I do believe this would alleviate that problem. The readout, the display is fairly big. So I think those guys they're getting up in their 40s. I'm probably knocking on that door here in a few more years where that close vision's getting a little soft. I think that this could be a good answer for that. So something to keep in mind. What else I do appreciate about this sight is its micro adjustability. I kind of get tired of sights with hex heads all over the place, and you got to tighten this to adjust that and tighten this to adjust that and loosen this screw. I mean, obviously it's necessary, but they did something really cool with this React bow sight where you just have this one tensioner bar right here, and then you have your micro adjustment for your left and right and your micro adjustment for your up and down. You make your movements and then just tighten that tensioner. It's really quick, really simple. So once you start messing with a lot of these products, you start to appreciate some of those fine things, those small things on these bow sights. Some other cool things about this sight are the profiles. You can add up to 5 different profiles in this sight if you're going to shoot a different arrow, and calibrate it accordingly. So that's pretty cool. You can also change the screen brightness. There's 3 different settings to change the brightness of the readout for those low light conditions. Also, you have 6 different options for the color of the readout as well, which that's pretty cool. You also have orientation to set it for left and right-handed shooters, and your units of measurement. You can do yards or meters, so that's pretty handy too. You can also change the precision of the readout on this sight, meaning you can have it read out in half yards or full yards for you target guys. When it comes to battery life, this sight will just stay on and sit for 3 days before the battery does run low. Other guys have hunted with the sight all season, all fall on one charge. It obviously is going to depend on how much you shoot and how long you leave the sight on. But if you turn it on and off and you're really diligent about it, then you're going to get a long battery life out of it for one charge. Now you might wonder about the weight. This sight does weigh 12 ounces. There are electronics. There is a micro computer in here, and you do have a battery. Most sights that I've used are somewhere between 8 and 11 ounces, up to 12 ounces, depending on how long of a dovetail you might have. So it's in the ballpark. Obviously, it is a compact sight. It's not going to set any records in the weight department, but it's not the heaviest one out there either. So something to keep in mind there. Well, let's dive a little bit closer into the details on how you set this sight up, and let's test it out. All right, I got the chronograph set up. We're gonna calibrate the digital React the speed way. So that means we're gonna set the 20-yard mark, sight it in for 20, and then enter our speed that we're getting and it's gonna do the rest, and we're calibrated. So I shot through the chronograph twice already with these arrows. They're the Aerotech MT300s. Finished weight, as you see it, is 480 grains, 29-inch draw, 70 pounds. Let's see what we get. I'm looking for consistency here because I want to be sure. So I shot a 289, a 289, and now it's saying duplicate 289 again. So I would say that that's very consistent. We're getting a good readout on the chronograph, so I feel comfortable with entering 289 feet per second into the digital react here. Duplicate number 3, it's 289. Let's calibrate it and see what happens. Okay, let's calibrate the digital react, the speed method. So first thing is we turn on the sight, press mode, it says ready. I'm going to select the first input is 20 yards. We already have it sighted in for 20. So it's blinking 20. Long hold till it quits blinking. Okay, which is 2 flashes. Now let's get to speed. Select our speed. Let's find 289. 289, using your mode button to toggle down, you use your select button to toggle up in speed. And we're gonna get to 289 and then press and hold select to set it. So that's 289. Press and hold select, you get 2 flashes, and it's set. So look at that, it's set. As you run your sight down, it automatically just runs down your yardage till we bottom it out at 116. That's how it's calibrated. So that's just calibrated with a sight in at 20 yards, enter your speed of your arrow, and it's calibrated. So let's go test that out. All right, we step back to 40 yards. We run our sight down to 40. Once again, this is the speed calibration. Let's see what it does. Yeah, that's even a little high. You want to really shoot several shots and make sure your groups are consistent over time. You don't want to just shoot like 2 arrows and be like, yeah, we're good. And really make sure you're good before you keep stepping farther and farther back, especially when it comes to broadheads. But all right, a couple more shots at 40, testing this calibration out. Oh yeah, that's money. That was a bullseye. I feel like the speed calibration is going to be the way to go for a little more consistency. I pulled that one, but my elevation is good. Let's drop back to 60 and we'll test that at 60 and we may be good to go. Who knows? We're up here on the porch, 61 yards from a Boone and Crockett matrix target down there. We're just testing out the speed calibration with the digital react. What I'm looking for here is elevation. That our elevation is good at 60 with this digital calibration. Right above the bullseye. I'm happy with that. I'm way more confident in the speed calibration with this digital react over the yardage calibration. I suggest anybody that's using this sight to do the same, do the speed calibration. I think you're gonna get a little bit more accurate of a calibration. Okay, let's try round number 2. I'm happy with that first arrow. Let's shoot one more. Almost touched my other arrow. That's what I was looking for. Okay, now that we tested out the speed calibration setup, let's move into the yardage setup. All right, the first thing we're gonna do with this sight is leave it turned off. We're gonna roll it to the top. So we're gonna start at the top of the sight tape and we're gonna get it sighted in for 20, plain and simple. Now, with this tension system on the front, you don't need your Allen keys or anything. You just loosen this tensioner and then you can make your micro adjustments on your left and right and the up and down. So it's very simple. So let's make sure we are rolled to the top and we are good to go at 20 yards. Okay, I'm gonna shoot probably 3 to make sure. I had it pretty close earlier, so we're about sighted in at 20. Good. All right, I feel confident with that. We're sighted in at 20 with the sight turned off. Now let's go in to the yardage setup. We're gonna calibrate this sight using yardage inputs. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do is turn the sight on. You might see a weird number. Make sure your sight's rolled all the way to the top, and we just need to calibrate it. We're gonna hold mode down. It's gonna say REA for react. We're gonna select first, second, speed. So the mode will toggle you through the first and second inputs. Then we're gonna hit select and our yardage flashes. So we know we're sighted in for 20. So we're gonna scroll up and set it for 20 and we're gonna press and hold select until it flashes twice and then it's gonna stop. So we're set at 20. All right, we got our 20 set. Now we're gonna just bounce back to 50 and slide our sight down and set our second yardage input. Okay, I just rolled my sight down to 50. I want to shoot and see where I'm at here. Okay, it's pretty good. And so at this point, I'm not really paying attention to the number on the readout on the sight. I more or less want to get my slider, the position set, and then I can go in and change the second input to 50 yards. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now we're gonna go right in here and input. This is 50 yards for this position for the second input of the yardage setup. Okay, I want to set my second input to 50. So I pressed and held select until it flashes. And then I want to scroll. Here, I'm going to do this so you can see it here. I'm just going to scroll up to 50. There. Okay, so I have it set to 50. I'm going to press and hold select. It stopped flashing and it blinked. There we go. All right, we're gonna shoot these last couple arrows at 50 now that our second position is calibrated. And we should be good to go as long as, you know, exactly at 50 yards. I guess I'll double check. Yeah, 50.6. So that's probably 50. See what we can do. This should be right on. It better be right on. Money. That looked good. Do one more. Perfect. All right, guys, that's the Digital React bow sight by Trophy Ridge. Pretty slick little setup. Digital readout, especially for you older guys that have a hard time seeing your sight tape. Could be a good option for you. Be sure you take a look and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do a ton of gear reviews and bow reviews. And yeah, look out for some more bow reviews coming up in 2022, and we'll see you on the next one.